In an effort to tackle global commodity shortage and price increases, President Irfaan Ali is urging Guyanese to produce and consume more local products in order to alleviate the rising costs and prices of consumer goods, and not to become victims of the global inflation that is impacting many countries. Earlier in the year, nightly news was inundated with cries from the public relating to the steep rise in prices for food, petrol, as well as construction materials, among other commodities. With the cost steadily increasing, the citizenry had called on the government to do more to ease the strain being experienced by Guyanese consumers.
We are suffering here. We have nobody to turn to. It is COVID. You need to have all these goods in your house. The bread raised, the sugar raised, everything raised. It's so hard. I don't know who's going to look into it. And unfortunately for me, I didn't get the $25,000 grant.
The prices and things are very expensive, and I think the government need to do a little grant for people because of the pandemic. I think they need to do a little grant so people could go and get some money, do some shopping, with grocery costs. Things are very hard. Since the pandemic, things are very hard. Cost of living get very expensive.
Things is very, very, very expensive. And as you can see the market, people ain't walking. I know if people ain't getting money, I used to come every day and sell mangoes and things. Now, one load taking you all week for finish selling.
We need to work on it, increase people's salary, especially the nurses and the doctors, and everybody can increase one set of people's salary and then increase the public service need more money. And even the ordinary workers like you, the private sector, need to increase the salary, the workers' salary too.
President Ali, during a press conference on Friday, announced that government has been working on new measures to ease some of the financial burdens citizens face.
We have to ensure that as far as possible, we give incentives to reduce the input costs of production. We have to give incentives and support the farmers in bringing down the cost of food production. And then we have to implement measures that would cushion the net effect of the increased cost of freight.
This will add to a number of existing measures such as the removal of value-added tax, VAT, on water, electricity and basic construction materials, as well as cash grant incentives. He reminded that he has not forgotten his promise of salary increases for public servants, incentives for members of the joint services and frontline workers. As a result of the global supply chain crisis, the head of state said that shortages and spike in prices for a number of commodities are slowly becoming the new norm, at least temporarily.
The goods and the products we buy out of China. You have 6-month delays, 1-year delays. There are port charges, there are warehouse charges that are associated with these delays. These costs are then translated into new prices that consumers are facing globally.
He alluded that the prospects for relief are dim since current data projects that existing shortages and price increases will more than likely continue in 2022, while at the same time the government is still looking to weather the storm in many economic areas as a result of disruptions from the pandemic. The president said that in the Caribbean region, some countries are bracing themselves for food shortages.
At CARICOM, we are pushing on an agenda to do what we call food replacement. That is to have a reduction in our food import bill by 25% and having the local production fill that void.
In the U.S., the Consumer Price Index rose 6.12% from a year ago, representing the highest inflation point in more than 30 years. Germany, too, is reporting a similar trend with a 4.1% inflation rate. Prior to 2021, Germany's highest inflation rate was 4.13%, which was measured in December 1993. And across the world in China, lockdown measures have resulted in a 10% increase in factory prices. Reporting for the HGP Nightly News, Amel Griffith.